Thank you for tuning into this video, my wonderful movie enthusiasts. I've got some exciting film news to share. Today we'll be exploring several topics, including Sony's recent announcements regarding movies inspired by their video games, and Matt Reeves finally addressing the burning question, will Robert Pattinson be part of the DCU? We're going to delve into that and much more. First, I need you all to hit that like button and subscribe. Start the new year off right with this channel. It's a decent one, I promise, if you've just subscribed. Thank you. Now let's kick things off with a quirky movie news story that had me chuckling. Just a few days ago, Will Smith shared a rather mysterious post on his social media. It stated, in 1997, the Wachowskis offered Will Smith the role of Neo in The Matrix. Smith declined, opting for Wild Wild West, thinking it was a better fit at the time. But what if Will Smith had been Neo? Wake up, Will. This sparked quite the frenzy online. A few months ago, it was announced that a Matrix reboot is in the works with director Drew G, leading many to speculate, could this mean Will Smith will finally take on the role of Neo? Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the Matrix series, especially the last installment, but I do enjoy the movies as well as Will Smith's work and would be open to seeing him in that universe. However, soon after, reports surfaced that Will Smith would not be starring in the upcoming Matrix film despite the intriguing teaser. This left us all scratching our heads wondering what was really going on. It turns out it might just be a Super Bowl ad. This situation could unfold in various ways. Some speculate that he might be creating music tied to The Matrix, potentially portraying Neo in a music video. However, with the Super Bowl approaching in just a few weeks, it seems increasingly likely that this will be the case. Honestly, I'm intrigued by the idea of Will Smith as Neo. It would certainly be amusing to see him take on that role in a Super Bowl advertisement. This is also a great reminder that the Super Bowl is prime time for a slew of trailers and teasers, often giving us our first glimpses of major films set to release in 2025. I plan to create a video discussing which movies we might see trailers for, but we should also be cautious of potential fake-outs that turn out to be just clever snack commercials. So, I'm throwing it out to you. What do you think the product will be in this Matrix Will Smith ad during the Super Bowl, and which movies are you most excited to see featured in Super Bowl promotions this year? On another note, Sony made a significant presentation at this year's CES, a major tech convention where leading companies showcase their upcoming innovations. Sony highlighted a range of their initiatives, from electric vehicles to entertainment systems, and dedicated a segment to their film division, Sony Pictures, providing updates on their forthcoming projects. First, we have exciting news regarding the Until Dawn movie. Fans of the game have been eager to see how Sony will adapt it for the big screen, particularly given the game's emphasis on player choices and decision-making. Sony has now confirmed that the film will introduce new characters and victims, along with an original storyline filled with unexpected twists. This fresh approach allows both longtime fans and newcomers to experience a different narrative set within the same universe as the game. It's a clever decision, as there is no need to retell the game's plot when fans are already familiar with it. What truly excites me is that David F. Sandberg, known for directing the Shazam films Lights Out and the impressive Annabelle creation, will helm the project. He has demonstrated a knack for blending horror with character-driven narratives, making him an excellent choice for Until Dawn. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Are you looking forward to this adaptation, or do you have reservations about its execution? Moving on, Sony has announced significant developments regarding live-action adaptations of their video games, starting with a Horizon Zero Dawn movie. For those who may not know, the game is set in a primitive tribal world dominated by monstrous, animal-like machines. It follows a courageous young warrior named Aloy as she unravels the mysteries of her origins and the world around her. I must admit, I haven't played the Horizon Zero Dawn games myself, but I've witnessed the franchise's tremendous growth through sequels, spin-offs, remasters, and even Lego sets. However, I've noticed some online discussions suggesting that the franchise might be overstated in its popularity. Regardless, I believe the stunning world and visuals of Horizon Zero Dawn have the potential to translate beautifully into a high-budget film. It reminds me of Avatar with its vibrant landscapes and a blend of futuristic and primitive elements. My hope is that they honor the story and deliver a compelling adaptation. Sony made another thrilling announcement during their CES presentation, a live-action adaptation of Helldivers. For those unfamiliar, this game involves being dropped onto a planet with your team, where you must fend off alien bugs and cyborg foes. It draws comparisons to the cult classic film Starship Troopers, which I personally adore. Although Helldivers lacks a complex narrative, this opens the door for filmmakers to craft something innovative and entertaining. Spoiler alert, Sony dropped the narrative of cyborg foes last season, so this holds constructive energy. I'm eager to see their approach, especially since Starship Troopers has set such a high standard for this genre. That said, many of you are likely asking, what about other Sony properties? There are still no updates on the God of War TV series that's expected to debut on Amazon. The Ghost of Tsushima film, helmed by Chad Stahelski of John Wick fame, hasn't revealed any significant news lately either. Additionally, while there are whispers of an Uncharted 2 movie, Sony has yet to make any official announcements. It appears they are prioritizing quality over speed, which is commendable, but I understand that fans are growing restless. What are your thoughts on these announcements? Are you excited for Horizon Zero Dawn and Helldivers, or are you still hoping for a Crash Bandicoot movie or something else entirely? Lastly, let's discuss The Batman. Yes, The Batman. I realize some of you may be weary of this subject, but it's essential to cover it. The ongoing speculation about whether Robert Pattinson's Batman will be incorporated into James Gunn's DC universe has been directly addressed by The Batman director Matt Reeves. In a recent interview, Reeves was asked if there have been any talks about integrating Pattinson's character into Gunn's broader DCU.
And last thing for you, I spoke to James Gunn recently, and I asked him, obviously he talked about, letting you do your Reeves verse on his own. And I did ask him, have you contemplated recently integrating Rob into the DCU? And he said, they've talked about it, because you talk about everything.
Sure, yeah.
What's your attitude about that at this point?
I mean, it really comes down to whether or not it makes sense. And, I think what's been great is there was really a kind of a story that I wanted to tell, we're calling the Epic Crime Saga and all of that, which is the thrust of what we wanted to do. And it's been important to me to be able to play that out. And, James and Peter have been really, really great about that, and they're letting us do that. And, what the future brings, I can't really tell you. I have no idea right now, except that my head is down now about getting the Batman Part 2 shooting and to make it something really, really special, which of course is the most important thing.
And if they decide, we really want Rob to be our DCU Batman?
I don't know. We'll have to see where that goes.
Fair enough.
Reeves' comments were quite intriguing. He didn't completely dismiss the idea, stating it really comes down to whether or not it makes sense. He highlighted that his current priority is completing the Batman Part 2 and acknowledged the support from James Gunn and Peter Safran in allowing him to pursue his vision. Nevertheless, he left some ambiguity by saying, "What the future brings, I can't really tell you. I have no idea right now." Depending on your perspective, this could imply a few things. Some might interpret it as a courteous way of saying, no, it's not happening. Others, myself included, believe it suggests potential for future collaboration. If there were no chance at all, why not simply state, no, Pattinson's Batman is remaining in his own universe, end of story. The fact that Reeves didn't completely shut the door indicates that serious discussions may be taking place behind the scenes. In my view, the decision will likely depend on the success of Gunn's DCU with Superman Legacy. If that film performs well, it could pave the way for Pattinson to be integrated into the larger universe. Conversely, if Gunn's DCU faces challenges right from the start, they may choose to keep Pattinson's Batman separate to protect the integrity of the Batman franchise. Additionally, we got this interview suggesting the recent rumors that things have been going on in the personal life of Matt Reeves are true, with Colin Farrell reportedly helping him in that regard.
Give us some insight into working with the wonderful Colin Farrell.
I mean, he's a genius. He's just absolutely brilliant, and our entire cast is incredible. But he's also just such a wonderful person. There a lot of stuff going on sort of in my life in the last year or so, and he has been such a good friend, such a beautiful man, and so I have to say that I've loved it on so many levels.
This makes me believe stuff has been happening in his life outside of the movie industry. So I think we should give Matt Reeves a break regarding the script taking so long to complete. He still seems eager and determined to finish it, maintaining a quality on par with the first. What are your thoughts? Would you like to see Pattinson's Batman become part of the DCU, or do you believe he's better suited to remain in his own universe? Share your theories. Additionally, we now have a solid rumor rumor regarding the villain. While early speculation included names like Scarecrow, Hush, Professor Pig, and Clayface, the attention seems to be shifting toward Mr. Freeze. Reporter Jeff Snyder recently noted, "I think there may be a little truth to those Mr. Freeze rumors. An untested, unproven source reached out to suggest this. This could align well with the wintry atmosphere hinted at in the Penguin series. However, nothing is confirmed yet. Some fans are speculating that Reeves might be spending extra time on the script to potentially incorporate a more commercially appealing villain like Mr. Freeze, while still featuring Hush as a secondary antagonist. I believe Hush will make an appearance, especially since there were several references to him in the Batman Part 1, including the actual mention of his name. Regarding villains, Mr. Freeze's narrative could align perfectly with Reeves' intention for a morally nuanced story. To create a grounded version of Mr. Freeze, one could simply portray a serial killer armed with a gun that fires liquid nitrogen, essentially a freeze gun, that could be quite effective. What are your thoughts? Will Mr. Freeze take the lead, or could another character emerge? Who would be your ideal villain for the Batman Part 2? Share your thoughts. That wraps up today's movie news. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm Andrew, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.